organizing secretary, Baraka, and being the moderator also. Kuma Seke can deputy appreciate Ajiyam Seka and all other National Executive Committee members Nyol Bijanto, Mboy Sedi Khan, and the diaspora community, Melbe Maber in Janto. Of course, among the diaspora community, one of the family members, Ajiyam Name, na brother, Dr. Darboe, na Kalifoti, and of course, na Suti Ofang, Mbaba, na Mukunda Darboe Dinding, Afana Bijantole, appreciate. And to say, Fatu Kamara, killing ne Sute Musol Kono, Nyang Kaf Kalan Kering me al Kaf Tata Janto, Nyang Kaf Barakama, Nyang Kafo, Be Konton, Electoral, Nyang Kafo Kono, Atata Nyaton Kol Kono Janto, Jikolo Wati, Ba Musolu, Italie Fem Muta, Hanata Tlunkolo, Alakabarko Kajetole, Surtout Kokendo. We appreciate Nela presence, appreciate, we welcome. Kada Alagie Suwareh with the rest of the team. I'll be similar. But Koku Sababu Bala. Go near Soro Fai, Abka Yom Kayoma, Yobedulato, Gio. Suleiman Saho. The National Organizing Secretary also Lenun Janto. What Janla? But National Organizing Secretary Mayalam Kafaka, Abe Bulala, Presidential Aspirants Noma. Ke Kachandi, Ke convinced. The President's Aspirations Puru Ya Jolong, Yanakaf UDP Lema, Ninhaklo Mambo, Namira, a floated telela. And hopefully, so Alagie Suwareh from my father Kumokono, Koimo catalyst leti, Koimo magnetic leti. Kafoko, this will not be the only occasion. It will be more magnetized like Yamakanat UDP. And young Bekelan. Congratulations. And I prove to the world, to UDP, Kafoko, Poisono may left Tala. As organizing sector, you deserve it. Because I mean, selfless service to the party. I mean, party ideals, ideas, policies, programs, philosophy, you promote, you more Londialand. For ye Sunday, ye Kafunang UDP ma. Ko Lamini Afanya Konga Menka, Konimo Kutonata UDP. Melby of 1996. Inibele Kanya, Ajiyam Seka as deputy party leader, na Kanya Tajele. Kayak Misal Muslim Adinola. Yes, you mean Fananketing. Misalo Muslim Adinolti. Ma for commitment UDP te Mukafirolti, more for the but political conversion. One in Dino Mawamanka, Kamari Monkey, Dina Dunketa Monkey Kilente, but more convert now from another political party to UDP, Hanbi, Amisal Killing Lomo. So, Elado Konyang appreciate, and we thank you for it, and we want to urge you, Gafuko, the 10 months meant to Tajeto, 10 months, 4 days, because the 5th day will be the election day. In 10 days, 10 months, meant to Tajeto, you will have many, many more conversions to United Democratic Party. Ko Alagie for Nyameng, not for the love of UDP, but for the love of the country. Ako, 2026 is not a year to love or to hate UDP. It's a year to love Gambia. Anyone, Mayor Lonkafoko, you kuke, or a stepster, Mayor Lonkafoko, Imantra Gambia la favor to, you are really being a disservice to the Gambia. ado alakanan do bula wo mol kono Naji, on the 11th of December, Kabrin went to SO, and you decided you speak on our platform. Mr. Samataya, Mr. Sawaya Fanya, Gak, of course. And from there along, my indication soto, ila thinking Benjamin, ila direction Benjamin. And today, we are seeing the ultimate declaration of your intentions. You are welcome to UDP. You are welcome to UDP. Yeah, mem for Alagie Bukoto. I'm happy Kafka Ngalare Fanajijanto. Kafka is the chairman of our policy committee. Yeah? That I'm sure this will be a very valuable addition to some of your thoughts. Just browsing through it, I see something on animal husbandry. I see something on fisheries. I see something on poultry. I see something on rice processing. I see something on education, how we should go. The impact of agriculture on the various sectors, I see them there. So a great deal of thought must have gone into this. And I believe Kavka Melbeninto, together with what we have in our 5-point agenda, in our little yellow book, will really be the platform Gambia take off Bekaladami. But we can have all these good ideas. We can have all the solutions thought out in print. But the implementation or the realization of those thoughts, the implementation of the methods can only follow a victory at the polls. Because these ideas, as an opposition party, you might not be able to implement them. Governments might be able to take ideas from it and use them. But for you as a party, you have to be in charge of the affairs of the state, and then you have the control. It's your ideas. Mirala, so what I think is the first step to come to give your support to GDP. That is a gigantic step towards the realization of these objectives. And be many opportunity tala. Kavako, political pundits, Bavon Kavako UDP, there cannot be a successful or viable coalition without UDP. If you accept that reality, please let us forget about our individual parties. Let us come together. Because to be quite candid, UDP is the only, only, but so far, for the time being, it is the only credible vehicle. There can be a change of government in this country. And when you have a change of government, then you change the systems. And the changing of those systems, is manifested in our 5-point agenda, is manifested in our program of the Gambia you want. I think we already have paper 1 and paper 2, I believe so. Yeah. That is how we know that we are na banko nyimba fali nola. Ko nga bondi UDP leading. And when I say probably Mr. Darboe as the president is secondary objective, is knowing the transient nature of human being. 2 days ago, ngamoyle dol ba fanka kang ayo dole fasar kang Ar-Rahman Surat Ar-Rahman kono government kulusi fanin, so wo yani tani kavako, no man lives here permanently. Before December 2025, Mandwala, Momo Mandwala, UDP kono ngolo na Momo Mandwala. Fem left agama Momo Mandwala. But 5th of December, alas akem la kaf konte tarla janto. But UDP betar la janto le. Adu UDP betar la janto le. UDP le bina mo ko tan tala kaf ko nyina be kala a substitute flag bearer ba Mr. Darboe ala ya lak noki wala. Mamandwala wala nan ko the second president is second, but the UDP to lead is the primary objective. And that is what we all believe in. So, Mr. Suwareh, welcome. Now, Dokonying, Alnga Dengala, Nakangania Kilinti. There's an week before last, Ndomado, Karamo, said the Fatajo, Kuikava Kurudin, Kamavaka Holy Ho, Belebe Nala, Nava Holy Ho, Naselending Asamba, Nanibe Tiparola, Kankarang. Accelero kasama mobile ka nyanta data ka mobe ke la mutat la ke ya fenga ya holie ho ya selende kankrang ni ya lo bunkang mbole kala Gambia ni be nga deng ngamuta nga bonde abe nga bonde be man ko bebe pala so sot la jelde but nimmenko power sharing e bole kala primary objective wala tama laf ni banko la wallahi to place ni ngala power sharing when you call ball fonko it a man left bank same left that one palace and you think Kavoko or palace on you bas or the true coalition. It's not fair to the Gambian people. I think what's fair to the Gambian people is na banko bondi more in yanta men sort lajer ale harje mena ya sort jeto. United Democratic Party will remain open to a united front of whatever description, whether you call it alliance, whether you call it coalition, whatever, but let it be a united front, we are open to it. And we say we are open to it on principles. Now the whole world over, major party nying, walaka leading ke, and anybody wanting to deny United Democratic Party that you want to delegitimize our position. And what legitimization of our position, we cannot do it. Here of appeals, Kavoko, in the nation's interest, yes. Everything must be done in the nation's interest. 1996, Welcome for the nation's interest. I didn't hear any of them. 1996, up to April 2016, I didn't hear them. With the greatest respect, a gentleman I respect for his principle, Halifa Sallah, he stood for Gambia. And Alamodo. If those people talk for nation's interest, I can have some understanding. But post 2016 politicians telling me in the interest of the country, let us do this, I say, where were you? In 1996, in 1996, most of those people, Melamko Party or Lobby, they view me as the greatest patriot in this country. That I sacrifice everything, that I'm the great nationalist. Why today should we be thought of people who are pursuing selfish interest, selfish personal interest? But in 1996, I never pursued a selfish personal interest. Took the risk of facing a dictatorship, put my life at risk, put the life of my family at risk. Moya faradiamo kono janto mamonsona ko even abroad niba contribute kanan to safe. Why were they doing that state of fear? But we openly defied the dictatorship. We openly said we cannot have this type of government here. Dolbella appointments or international appointment, which I declined. International appointment, which I declined. To stay here in this country. To make sure, Kafoko, we have a system of government that serves the best interests of the people of this country. That we have in place mechanisms that will protect our resources. That we have in offices men of integrity, men who think of the Gambia, men who come out with policies, and that is why Ahmad Sani, during his tenure as Minister of Finance, inflation was reducing, waste was cutting, wastage cut labedo. To the extent that to the extent that he's denying people Jews. He was not denying people that we are Jews, but he was trying to protect the state resources and have it applied to the needs of the Gambian people. I say to all the people, look, I have always put the interests of this country before any other thing. That is why in 1996, when all of you decided not to go against Jammeh, I decided to go against him. That is why in 1996, when all of you, or probably some of you, we are just abroad and writing in the papers, not being in the ground, I stood here in Federal Street, condemned Barrow condemned Jammeh's corruption. Kanakodota from Taiwan, $5 million stuck away in Switzerland. I condemned it. I said we must follow it up. And I produced credible evidence about it. The crude oil saga, telling our Fenkajanto. And above all, the NIA was our perpetual abode. UDP, that was our perpetual abode. We did that for the interest of this country. And we continue to do so for the interest of the country. We are not going to, we are willing to have a united front, but we are not going to listen to those people who we are not here and talking about, putting this nation's interests first. What have we been doing in the past? And this is a political season. Yeah, what I think na nimel kavako winning an electoral candidate nga wonde san. Mon melan kavako kunu ngamira dobare bi patina ni jangle kono bi. Nol kakuma fo. It just shows the lack of principles in politics. And I'm a Disraeli disciple, former Prime Minister of UK. Benjamin Disraeli. I think he was the first Jewish Prime Minister of UK. Men must stand or fall by their principles. I'm going to continue to stand or fall by my principles, because United Democratic Party are founded on principles, and principles have been guiding us all throughout. So some of these gaseous talk, we'll hear them, but certainly we will not be bothered by them. We've seen people who have sacrificed for this country. We've seen them. We may not be in the same party with them, but those people we appreciate. When those people talk of national interest, we listen, even though we may disagree with them, but we listen to them. But those who only talk of national interest, because this is the time they feel that they can come on, them we say, no, we are not listening to you. And I want also to say, Kafako, really, the whole over, Dunia Bekono, Pati Balu, Walaka coalitions no lead. And I must say categorically, Mel Kafako will go for a convention, United Democratic Party, we are not going for a convention. I have had that experience. I have had that experience with NAD when it came to the nomination of flag bearer. But you later knew and denied us. The biggest party denied us the flag bearership. Let me withdraw so that you can have an opportunity to do amongst yourself what you wanted to do. And we are not going to get into that situation, get to a convention level, and say we are not going to do that. We make it quite categorically clear here that mel lafta kafulamma dukaral na nanyim banko je nanyim banko bonde but mel ya don kafko really ila hajo manke femfente or ila fino manke femfen for just to sit at the table in order to get a position. No, maybe there are not people that want to talk to us. Coalitions must not be formed just because you want to share powers. Coalitions may be formed on principles, on programs. System ning abole change la. Like what we are complaining about, attestations. What we are complaining about, the inability of the Independent Electoral Commission to investigate a claimant. Whatever document you produce, you investigate. and come to a rightful conclusion. These are things that we want to have in our laws. And this, not only that, but we also want to have a constitution for this country that serves all. The diaspora, the biggest contributor, that constituency, contributes a lot to the economy of this country. Dokuo within the families is unrivaled. I mean, if your constitution donates to the president power to nominate 5 people, why don't you do away with that clause and create diaspora, so that diaspora representation, you can have diaspora representation in the National Assembly. And this is what we are thinking about, United Democratic. We want the diaspora to be represented in the National Assembly, so that President has power to appoint 5 nominated members. No, do away with that. Or 5 nominated members, give it to the diaspora,